Okay. Are we all back? So I had just opened it to commissioners as to some thoughts on moving forward. I do want to open it to public comment, but again, the issue really is about a fee waiver and not about a route. And so we can't make a decision on a route today because we have to, by law, follow a certain procedure on how we make decisions. So because we're at a fee waiver request, we have to stay on subject. And if the commissioners have any other thoughts in the moment to move forward, I would love some ideas from everyone else. Warren.
I'd just like to clarify that the decision on a fee waiver won't in any way affect the decision on a parade route. In other words, accepting the fee waiver won't nullify any other decision. Um, And I'd also like to know what effect having 500 and some names on a petition, um, if that'll be taken into consideration.
For the fee waiver or for
No,
the?
not for the, strictly for the other. At this point, I understand that we're strictly talking about the fee waiver as long as it does not affect the future decision on a route. They're totally separate.
They're separate.
Yeah,
That,
okay. Thank you.
any other commissioner
And
comments?
that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask if it was conditional on this route or if it was just for any route.
Michael?
The chamber just asked for $500 in total fee, so it wouldn't matter on a route.
Thank you.
Anyone else? So I'm going to open it to public comment, Leslie, on the fee waiver request. Please, public, I know how people are feeling about the route, but this is about a request, and we need to stay focused on that if we could.
Is there a pen to sign on this? My name's Philip Bowers. I guess I just am confused at what you're, when you say we need to stay focused because you know how we feel. How do you know how I feel?
We have an agenda item. We have to give it, we have to give the public time. So we have a certain amount of time ahead of, this is a law thing. I might have Jay try explain this too. But we have to address the
So my question
agenda
is,
item.
when will there be a time to discuss the actual parade route? When would that be?
That commission can bring that as a action item. The public can have a scheduled public comment. There's multiple ways. There can be just public comment on it. There can be communications to the commission. But because this is an agenda item, we
Right.
have to stay focused on that part of the
Right,
issue.
but in order for me to comment on the agenda item, I'm confused by there was a picture up there of a route. And so what did that mean?
So we get the whole application
Mm-hmm.
and it's in our agenda. Then, but the request itself is for a fee waiver of $500 in fee waivers that is requested, and every year request. Pretty much every year we get this request.
Okay,
And
so
then
what you're saying is that you have the request. If the commission approves the request for that, it's on the parade route that was in the red. Is that
No.
accurate?
Yep.
Okay. And
Well,
so at,
The request, no, this is request,
Oh. What's in
this is the,
packet?
this is about a request for a fee waiver, not about a route, not about any, this is just the packet that of information that we're always given with any application, we're given a packet.
okay, I just
And
need,
so this is the packet, and that happened to be part of that packet. But the issue is just a fee waiver of $500, which we often get for,
and so
um,
there will be a time though that you guys will bring this back.
what sounds like we should. But at this time, it hasn't been put on yet another agenda because we're still talking
And
about
who
it.
helps with that agenda?
We do,
Just the
and
commission, or do you help with it
the-
too, Mike? Okay.
so if we could focus on the
Yep.
fee
No,
waiver, and
I
then,
needed the clarification,
we're
so I knew how
listening.
to comment on the fee waiver. Thank you.
thank you. Did you state your name, by the way? I'm sorry, I missed it at the beginning. Could you say it again? I usually write it down, but I would.
Mr. Heavy on the Mr. Philip Bowers.
Thanks, Philip.
Philip, did you, and he signed it. 701 North End Street. Patricia Grabo, 204 East Calendar Street. I really need some clarification just to answer to a question. Apparently there was a staff decision. Can I get the names of the staff members that were present when that decision was made with this application? Also, I'd like the date of the meeting and the minutes of the meeting. And the vote the staff took on the changing the parade route, because as a member of the public, I feel
Patricia,
I
we,
deserve that. I know.
I
I'm
thought
just
you were going to
saying.
say who approved the fee request or waiver, and then we changed it to the,
Well,
the
the waiver
route,
as
but-
well. I just want to know who considered the waiver, which staff members. I'm really seriously requesting a list of every single staff member who requested the waiver and at the same time requested the parade route. I need the date of the meeting. I need the minutes from that meeting and the qualifications of that staff to make those decisions. And I am seriously requesting this if possible. It is frustrating for the public to have these decisions, and there is a amorphous thing called staff, and we don't even know who they are, but they are replacing us, and they are replacing our commission. So I think in all fairness to the public, we need that information, please.
thank you. Any other public comment on the fee request? Let me say fee waiver request, sorry.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Phil Chiavello, and I'm the president of the Board of the Chamber of Commerce. So I'd like to confirm Leslie's request for the fee reduction or fee waiver. But I'd also ask that you place on your agenda at your next meeting consideration of the petition that's been presented to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Hi, I'm Jackie, 166 Miller Drive. I just wanted to say thank you for previous years of the reduction for the parade route, and just a forward thank you for the reduction in the parade route, hopefully. We really appreciate it. It really helps us. We only get so many sponsors. This town has a lot of nonprofits, and so we are also a nonprofit. And parade is based off of sponsors, and when we get a lot of sponsors, the parade is awesome. And so this amount of money that we pay for the parade, the $500, really, really helps us make the parade an awesome event with lots of volunteers and people who are paid to block the parade so that cars and people are safe on the parade route. And I really appreciate that the commission has done this in the past and hopefully in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Hi, my name is Susie Barnett. I'm also on the Chamber of Commerce Board. And I would like to know if you guys could pull up the formal request that Leslie sent to you. It should be in the packet.
Page 58, I think.
In that very first paragraph, it says, this is from Leslie Feigl, CEO, I would like to formally ask the City of Livingston and Commission to reduce the fees for the garbage to half price and equal $4 per can, and event location of Main Street, Second Street, and Park Street to total $500. So I guess I find it interesting. How can you approve the fee reduction as she requested if we can't include, I mean, we're asking for a fee reduction for that parade route. And I know you don't want to talk about the parade route, but it's all in one. So I would ask that you
I-
comment or consider
I
that.
do want to
please.
clarify, it's not that we don't want to talk about the parade route, it's that we can't.
Right, I
according to
understand
this.
that. But from what I read here, I mean, you can't have one without the other as far as this request. So if you could comment on that, that would be great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll keep it open and then commissioners can comment on that or other things as we get to that point.
Bring this down a little bit. So my name is Stacy Sunvison. I'm at 117 Prairie Drive. I'm also on the executive board for the Livingston Roundup. I just want to explain how the importance and the significance is of this parade. Kicks off one of the largest weekends in the city of Livingston. Not only for that reason, but the fee reduction is much appreciated for the chamber. We will draw in for that weekend, and it's been recorded with the rodeo and the parade over $2 million in revenue for this city. That's not old money, that's new money coming into the city. The contestants park at Town Pump. They also come up and enjoy the parade. So that is extremely important, and I hope the city realizes and the county knows that for the size of this community, what we do is amazing. And I don't know if any of you know that we sit as in the top 25 rodeos in the world. And most of those that we're in with is like San Antonio, Texas, Fort Worth. So for our little community to do what we do is awesome. And to kick it off with a grand parade is nothing short than amazing. So that reduction in fee, I think, would be awesome for the chamber. And again, to see if there's some way at another meeting to discuss the parade route to support our local businesses downtown when that is going on. So that's my 2 cents. I've been with the Roundup for, if you include my years as a youngster, 45 years. So I appreciate that, and whatever we can do to help and support the chamber, and I can speak for the entire Livingston Roundup, is much appreciated. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Stacy. Any other public comment? All right.
Hello, my name is Rusty Trespass. 217 West Park is the building that we just bought. We're going to be opening up a new business in town. I want to make sure that you guys are in support of the fee as well as what Leslie's talking about. And then I also want to strongly encourage you to pay attention to your people back here with the parade route. I know we're not supposed to talk about it right now, but it is a very big deal for this town. I've been in the town for 19 years and been going to the parade ever since. I would hate to see it lose its historical value by changing streets. So please, even if you have to get another meeting, get this on an agenda before July 4th or July 2nd for that matter. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rusty. Any other comments? All right. Are we sure? Okay.
I just have a question. My name's Brittany Bont, 1413 East Gallatin, number 25. My question is when they brought up, when they requested what to have on the agenda, that it said the fees, but it also had the route. How is it that only half of that got put on the agenda? And I mean, how does that work? I guess legal wise and all of that. I just was wondering how that works.
Michael, can you just talk about that process?
Sure. So the special event application is the one that comes in for all special events. Whenever there's a fee waiver, we include the application plus anything, the full packet, and then we just put it on as a fee waiver. That's how they all work.
So you do just a fee waiver, even though they asked for both.
Right. The location is usually worked ahead of time, as it was this time. And then once the location is set, we set the fee waiver in front of the commission, because you don't know what the fee waiver is until the location is set.
Then how can you accept the fee waiver if we haven't set, if you guys haven't set the location yet?
Well,
How can you guys vote on the fee waiver?
The chamber asked for a secondary route, and we approved it.
But it wasn't on the agenda. I mean, you guys didn't discuss it. Nobody back here got to discuss it. Chamber of Commerce wasn't able to come up and comment on it. And you said you can't okay the fee waiver without the parade route set. And we've been all told in this building that we can't talk about the parade route. So how can you okay the fee waiver if we don't even know the parade route yet, when you just said that the fee waiver gets okayed after the parade route was okayed? So now I'm really confused.
So the chamber asked for a secondary parade route. They sent us a different request saying this is our secondary route. Staff said, yep, that's great. We've calculated what the fees would be for that closure, and we bring that cost in front of the commission for a waiver.
But-
Now, no matter if they pick a different route, $500 isn't enough to cover any of the fee waivers for any route through the city. So a fee reduction for the parade to $500 will apply to any route, because any route is more than $500 unless it's going to be less than 3 blocks.
But on there it said the parade route of B Park and Main for the fee waiver. So shouldn't you then be okaying the fee waiver on that route, not the secondary, if nobody's been able to discuss either or?
That's up to the commission. If they want to say we can't approve this because that's not the current route, they can. But I would recommend they approve it, just because any route, a fee waiver down to $500 would be acceptable.
Then I guess my other question is, once that fee waiver is accepted, then does that mean that the new route is then accepted as well? Or will that, if there is a discussion at another meeting about the route, will that fee waiver then go on to that route as well?
The fee waiver is a request for a parade.
Okay.
The application involved a couple different routes, an alternative route as well as a route. So we're still back to the approving just a fee waiver for the parade versus any other detail of it. It's just like when the garbage cans come to us, they're requested. Often just the garbage cans, the issue of pickup and cost or whatever. So this is just that part.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's Brandy, right? Brittany, sorry.
My name's Tim Bowers. My address is 136 Deep Creek Road. I've been a resident of the Livingston, Park County for, over 65 years. The parade, as far as the waiver, that's, I hope you consider that. The other thing is the parade is, been important part as it's been brought up to Livingston for 93 plus years. And we participated, I'm in the outfitting business, and we participated in it for many years. We run our big pack string of mules through there. We have in the past, and it takes a lot of work to come into town. Yeah, even the people with the floats and whatnot. And when you shorten the parade up, that means that the people that put all that time and effort into it are getting shortened up too. So, and plus the people that come, as it's been mentioned, the Livingston Roundup is one of the biggest rodeos in the country. And the parade, again, is a very important part of that aspect. As far as the people that live here, over the years, a lot of people come to town to visit for just because of the parade and that. And again, that the businesses downtown get a lot out of it as well. So I just want to say that, again, that there's a lot of work that goes into putting a parade on and the people involved in it. And it doesn't need to be shortened up. And the route that you've had in the past has worked the best. And like the old saying is, if the wheel ain't broke, don't change it.
Thank you, Tim. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Closing it to public comment. Commissioners, questions, comments? Nothing? Maureen?
I just wanted to kind of reinforce everybody's concerns that the two issues are two issues, and the second issue, AKA the route, is not going by the wayside. So it will be considered in the future. It's not a dead item regardless of what is decided about the waiver. So, thank you.
Anyone else? Melissa?
First, I just want to thank everyone that came tonight to this meeting to talk about such an important event for our city every year. And I wanted to ask some clarifying questions, just because there's a lot of different ideas. And I want to make sure that everyone is on the same page with what our policies and our laws say about these items, just for clarity. So my first question, this could be for Jay or Michael. This is pretty standard protocol kind of question. Can you explain the difference between staff meetings and elected official meetings, what's required by law?
Sure, you want to take it out? You want me to take it? So staff meetings are not considered, they're not meetings of elected officials, and hence they're not required for the open meeting laws, because those are meetings by elected officials. So if it's the school board, the city commission, a board that meets under the city commission, whether that's the planning board, the zoning commission, parks and trails, any publicly elected or a sub-unit of that publicly elected board is required to meet the Montana open meeting laws. Staff are not, because we are not elected officials and we don't fall under as a subdivision. So we don't do agendas, we don't keep minutes of staff meetings.
Madam Chair, a point of order. Can we keep this to voting on the fee waiver? And then we can maybe the other things like legalities come up,
Commission
commissioner
comments?
comments.
Well, but that was a question that was asked just on process of how decisions are made, which
Right,
could
which-
mean, which could entail a fee waiver request, right? A decision made by the city, by the staff. So I think that
If
was
that's
a,
the-
that was
if
a
that's
fair,
the way you want it.
well, that was a fair question
okay.
to ask because that's a process question.
I just, yeah, it is a process question. I want, I guess I want everybody to know that, what the laws are, how those are informing this information that's in front of us before we vote on it. Because it seems like maybe there's, some, what's the word, concerns about how we got to this point before we vote on the impact fee. And how it is that we're voting on the impact fee only. So, so this is related also. What is, I believe we have a specific policy, although I can't rattle it off. I know I've read it, for determining parade routes and special events. I think Jay might have mentioned it to me recently. Do you remember, or could you summarize? Okay,
Basically, it's the police chief makes the decision
that's what I was thinking. Okay,
because it's a public safety issue.
okay.
I mean, you saw in the application, I think they were expecting 10 to 12,000. Livingston City Code says the police chief makes that decision.
Thank you. I was trying to remember which department heads it was. So thank you. So we, the commission, the 5 of us, by law are not allowed to talk about the parade route because it was not on the agenda. However, the public is allowed. I think
Not during this agenda.
not during this
item.
agenda item. I was going to say the public is allowed at the meeting. I think probably a lot of people were holding their comment for this part of the meeting, thinking that since it was in the packet, the maps were in the packet, that it would be allowed. And I suspect, I don't know, but I suspect that maybe if people would have known that they wouldn't be able to talk about the route, they would have given more public comment on the route at the beginning of the meeting. So, and there's quite a few people here. I know that we can't talk about it, and I know that there's nothing to vote on for us regarding the route specifically. But I don't know, this is probably for you as the chair. I don't know if that's something that we could allow a public comment at the end, or if we just have to save that for the next meeting. Given that I think there was some confusion around that, and I can understand
Right.
why. I think that people probably were trying to respect the process and waiting for this time near the end of the list, I think. So I just wanted to throw that out for you as chair, because I don't know what's possible for adding this topic. And then for the commission, in terms of voting tonight, I don't know. What I'm hearing people say is they would like the fee waived to $500. Fees waived to the fee is $500. But also that incorporating the discussion of the route in with that vote instead of voting on that and then talking about the route later. I don't know if it would benefit us just to vote on the fee now and talk about the route later, or to do it all together at a later date. I'm not committed to that idea. I'm just like throwing it out as one possibility of how we might move forward.
Well, some of the options are that we table this for future discussion and put it back on the agenda, the fee waiver. But they do have to be separate to continue the discussion on the item, especially if we put it back onto an agenda in the future. Then we want to give the public the time to, the rest of the public, because the people here right now are hearing this discussion, but the rest have no rights to be part of it as of yet because we haven't addressed it. So we can't make decisions on something, for example, on that, but we can table this and move it to the future for further discussion, which is a common thing to do if we want more information. We can support or vote for or against the request at this time. And then as far as the other issue, I think that is going to, we need some commissioner comments on how they would like to move ahead with it as well.
Thank you. I yield.
Warren?
Well, they're two totally different topics, and
Mhm.
I believe it's already been made clear that it's going to be $500 regardless of the route. So I don't think there's any need to table it. I think it could be voted on and fairly now. Thank you.
Any other comments on that as far as the fee waiver? So at this time,
Yeah, well, as long as people don't get the misunderstanding, we're, approving a route or anything. That's, the route isn't up to us. It's up to, the fee waiver is up to us at this stage of the game, so. And that's all we're voting on.
I think we have clearly
think
stated
so.
that. Do you think everyone
I
feels
think so.
comfortable with that? So I guess we're to the place of having a motion. Do we have a motion on the request for fee waiver from the, I gotta state it the correct way. The 2019 Livingston Roundup Parade request for fee waiver. Do we have a motion from the commission?
I move we accept the waiver.
Second.
We have a motion by Maybe and a second by Friedman. Roll call, please. Yes?
Four.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. We're already at the end of our agenda, so we have the city manager comments and city commissioner comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The only thing I have for you tonight is we finished our general fund budget workshop, but we need to schedule our enterprise fund budget workshop. Either the first or second week of June, those funds should be ready for your review. So if there's a date in there that you would like to pick. We do have a meeting on the 4th, which is the first week of June. So probably the 5th or later, and not the 14th. So anytime between the 5th and the 13th, I think would be.
How do you feel about Thursday? The
The
6th.
6th?
Yeah.
I like Thursdays. Oh, it seems to work.
Yeah.
What time?
We could, how long are you thinking this one? About the same as last time?
Might be a little longer because, just a little bit longer because the enterprise funds also include the fees.
So maybe 5:30 to, what, like, how long are you thinking? 5:30 to 7:30?
2 hours should be plenty.
I don't care. I'm
So
time.
from what time?
5:30 to 7:30 on June 6th, maybe? Does that work for,
I have another fundraiser I was going to attend, but I don't know if we had it a little earlier this meeting.
5?
We
4:30?
usually do early or, around 5:30.
10
But
o'clock
if-
fundraiser?
No, after. Well, it's actually during that time, so I'm trying to get to the end of it so I can.
How
get
early do
back.
you want to start?
So could we do it at 5?
So
I'm okay with that.
we could
When-
probably
what
even
are
do
we
it at
doing?
4:30 if you wanted to
5
go
on
that
the,
early, Jarrell.
June 6th.
What do you think?
Is that too early for folks?
Any of those
4:30?
times will work for staff.
June 6th.
What's that? Oh, the room's not open.
It's open at 5.
At what? Oh, at 5.
Those are open at 5. Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. I
5
mean,
to 7. Does that get you out early enough?
yes, I can get
your
over there
party?
for half an hour.
What is the name of this meeting, Michael? What
Budget
do you,
workshop.
Enterprise?
Enterprise Fund Budget Workshop or work session.
And you'll have the paperwork out next week or something.
Paige is out this week, so it'll probably be when she's back.
6th from 5 to 7. Or 5, starting at 5.
And won't be as fun as the last budget workshop.
It will be.
Then the last one. I'll tell you.
It's good times.
So next budget meeting is on June 6th from 5 to around 7, I guess, depending on if we have to go over or if it ends. And that's it?
That's it.
Melissa?
My
Commissioner comments?
today. Our topics are so important at these meetings. They're so important to our community. And today I went to my kids' school. They're learning about World War II, and that is intense. And I'm reminded of how awesome our teachers are in Livingston and everywhere, and how truly they have the hardest job to teach our children about these things. And I'm so grateful as our local city government that these are the hardest topics that we have to deal with. Our parade routes and these local issues, and that we're not thinking about things that our kids are being taught right now. So thanks to all, thanks to those teachers and Mrs. Robin Lovick. You're amazing. I yield.
Warren?
I just want to say I'm glad to see public participation. Lots of times there's an empty room, or practically empty room, and the public is the one, or is the who the decision should be made for. And I'm just glad to see that we have a good representation tonight. Thank you.
Mel?
I did what Warren said. I appreciate everybody coming, and hopefully we can resolve this and move forward. And it's always an exciting time of the year for the community. So thank you for coming.
You. Oh, my turn? Let's see, what was I gonna do? I understand the frustration with public comment. We moved it to the beginning of the meetings because people were frustrated that they had to stay here sometimes till 11 o'clock at night for public comment. So, it's, darned if you do and don't, so, hoping for feedback on that, if you guys want to, it's up to the public really where they would like to see it. I thought it was more effective. People get out of here, and don't have to sit through the minutia of the meeting like we do. But I do thank everybody for coming and expressing their opinion. I yield.
All right. Tonight is my night to thank someone in the community, and the person, so if you haven't been here before, the last meeting of the month, so our second meeting, I give a shout out to people or a person that has given back to our community in a positive way. And I started doing this because often we get a lot of negative, and I think there's a lot of positive that we kind of miss. So the person I'm shouting out to today is Steve Caldwell. So Steve happens to be a county commissioner, but he's a city resident. He was a city commissioner for, if I recall, it was 10 years before he then ran for county commission and moved into that role. But he does more than, be in politics. He has done a lot in our community just to move forward our parks and trails system. He's done it throughout the county as far as not just as a commissioner, but as someone interested in having alternative routes to schools, routes in and out of our community on for trails, and he's also a very calm, steady voice, and he listens to people, I think, well, and he as well as he does it quietly without having to be in a fight, and that's not an easy skill, especially when you're a commissioner, and he has done it for multiple years. I think it's like 14 at this time. So thank you, Steve Caldwell, and I look forward to thanking someone else in next month's meeting. So do I have, that's all I have
I
to
got
say,
to
sorry. And do I have a motion from the commission for adjournment?
So moved.
Second,
We have a motion by Friedman and a second by
me.
me, Quentin.
I know,
Um,
it's been a long night.
Roll call, please. Yes.
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 This meeting of the Livingston City Commission is adjourned at 7:11 PM.
The chain store back in the Midwest. Wow.